All right, well, hi, and welcome to Tomes of Isolation. This is John. I will be your host tonight. Roxy is taking a little bit of break. She did about 5 or 6 shows in a row doing that's Alone Against the Dark from Chaosium. Tonight's going to be an interesting one because we're going into kind of an adjacent idea from definitely a RPG many people don't have enough experience with, in my opinion. For a while there, Seven Seas, which is the RPG we're doing, was kind of my great white whale, pun intended, of the RPG world because I could not find people playing a table of this game, and I love it. I loved first edition, and honestly, second edition is even better. I cannot gush enough about this idea of a game, and yeah, you get to play pirates, and you get to play in a weird Victorian kind of amalgamation of Europe. It's really kind of interesting, and I'm going to talk a little bit. Oh, hey David, and hi Amanda, thank you all so much for coming tonight. I want to go ahead and touch on a few things that have to do with the property while we wait for chat to fill in. And so Seven Seas is this really cool idea of a world that is like when you think of the height of the fantasy era for any country, even though they are not happening normally at the same time, they all happen at the same time in that world. It's a weird thing, but to imagine, Avalon is the equivalent of England in the world of, I think this one is Thea. I think that's the name of the world for Seven Seas. But Avalon's the equivalent of England, and it takes place during the reign of Queen Elizabeth, the White Queen, the Virgin Queen. And there is a stand-in for that. At the same time, what makes Avalon really special is that it is the home of fae and fairies, and falls really in line with a lot of the folklore that goes along with those times. Other nations, you have Montaigne, which is the equivalent of France in this world. And Montaigne follows more in line with the Alexander Dumas novels. Man in the Iron Mask, The Three Musketeers, Count of Monte Cristo. The equivalent times for that are in Montaigne. Oh, hey! Excellent. Thank you so much for being here tonight, Deadlock. That's Montaigne. Germany is Eisen, and Eisen is really interesting. I'm not really as familiar with it. They change up a few things. There's the Vestenmenjar, who the Vendel League and the Vestenmenjar, which are basically Norway, Scandinavian countries, and that's happening at the same time during the greatest time for trade from those nations, as well as the Viking era. Okay? Yeah, I know. It gets kind of interesting really quick. I'm trying to think what Spain is in that world, but Castile. Thank you. So Castile is interesting because it's taking place during the Inquisition. And so you get all these really interesting events lining up that are different time periods in our history, but these are like the times that everyone kind of is like, oh, this is the height of the swashbuckling literature, or the mythos of each one of these countries, and they put them all together. I want to say that I love this company. That I love the writer who put this out, John Wick. Yes, same name as the infamous movies. It is his real name. John Wick is an amazing writer, and he's created a world that is very inclusive. Beautiful books, wonderful color books, and they decided to do this series that I think is great. Now, the author tonight is, for the adventure we're doing, is Danielle Lauzon, and she is a phenomenal writer. If you've been playing RPGs in the last 10 years, especially if you've played any by White Wolf, she likely had something to do with the game that you're playing. Like some of my favorites, and she also works now with Onyx Path, I think is what it is. She works with them. She was really a key person. Weston and her, they used to be in the CAM. David's pointing that out. Camarilla was a LARPing organization. It's still around, but its heyday really was the 90s into 2000s. And she was very much a big part of the Camarilla White Wolf fan club. And now she writes games. It's amazing when you realize how many people from the Camarilla who played these games now is big in the writing world. So just going down a list really quick. I got it right here. So Beast the Primordial, Chill, Demon the Descent, some of the Mind's Eye Theater books, The Mage the Awakening, Chronicler's Guide, Sign of Sorcery, Scion books. Now, before all this went down, the Storyteller system, a lot of the World of Darkness books were also with her. And those are some of my favorites. Like, if you're looking for a great dice pool based system, D10 system, it's the same system that Vast, the RPG actual play used. She was very instrumental in that. So it's kind of a cool thing, just tossing that out there. So, yeah. Anyways, I got some viewers here in chat. Thank you all for coming tonight. I've got several people in. So, we're going to go ahead and start this up. To begin with, remember, so this is kind of a reaction kind of show. I will be going through, I will be reading this game. The games that we play are meant for one player. But the way that we do it is that I will toss out the questions to chat as I'm reading these things, and you can weigh in and help me decide what it is that I want to do. Finally, and I'm certain that if Roxy is in chat, she can help me out with this, but the company that made this game, the Seventh Seas of Pirates Pact, which we're doing tonight, they have made several of these. These are, again, that kind of choose your own adventure along with a role-playing game dynamic. And they've done several books for several systems. And we're going to find out tonight how it weighs up. I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be kind of a neat thing. But so I'll read some choices will present themselves. And I would love to get some feedback in chat. Tell me if there is something that you would like me to do specifically. And we'll go with that. All right. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get this started now. All right, pulling it up. And I will try to do some dramatic reading. If you subscribe tonight and it pops in our chat, I will do my best to try and give a specific voice to one of the characters. I cannot guarantee that I'm good at them. In fact, I'll probably be terrible at them, but I will try my best to do a impersonation, I guess, or a voice for the character. So subscribe, drop it in, and we'll go from there, all right? All right, so Chapter 1, Ruin and Rescue. Or at least that's where we're starting. Entry 1. All hands on deck! The shouted order rings out, picked up by one sailor's voice and then another, until it carries all across the Dame Fortune. Heavy footfalls come from all directions, nearly drowning out the cries. The sun has barely crested above the ocean's horizon, casting a deep orange glow across the sky and sea alike. But even those few who are still asleep are up and running now. For 2 weeks you have been on a merchant ship, Dame Fortune, along with your best friend Christine. Hi, Christine. Even though you are only passengers, you have both grown at least somewhat accustomed to living by the rhythm of life at sea. With every passing day, the noble estate where you grew up has felt farther and farther away, and never farther than it does now. Oh yeah, this is going to be a lot of reading. Much more than we've seen in others. But, you know, again, it's different from what we've done before with some of these. So, anyway, you can see the choices that are now on screen that we've got. These are my responses to build on with this story. It's hard being far from home, but I'm determined to prove my worth no matter how difficult the task. I love the excitement of life at sea. This is exactly where I want to be. There is always a new puzzle to figure out. I wouldn't get that at home. So, I kind of like the second one, the excitement of life at the sea. Arrrrrre. Oh, and I understand that we will maybe get to pick our gender and identity for this character as we go through, which is also going to be pretty cool. Ooh, Deadlock says number 3. There's always a new puzzle to figure out. I wouldn't get that at home. Christine with the H? Yes. Christine with an H. Christine. How's that? That better? So far I've got 1 vote for the second choice. Anyone else? Anyone else want a different one? Because I'll go with it. You know I will. Ooh, I got I agree with 3. So, there's a new puzzle to figure out. I wouldn't get that at home. Well, there we go. I am going to go with number 3 then. So we've got chat in agreement on 3. An alarm bell clangs sharp and loud above the rising din. Even Christine, usually placid, is starting to look worried. What's got these merchants all riled up? She grumbles. Sailors are coming up from the lower decks now, rushing past you and Christine. One of them you recognize, a woman from Montaigne named Josephine. With a face tanned and weathered from years at sea, she's been on the Dame Fortune for as long as the captain himself. She pauses just long enough to say, "You two! If you can fight or haul a rope, get yourselves on deck now." Close on Christine's heel, you burst onto the deck and into a chaos of noise. All around you, the crew of Dame Fortune rushes about, pulling ropes to furl and unfurl, racing to load cannons and gather swords, shouting orders back and forth. And in the first light of sunrise, you see the looming shape of a ship off the Dame Fortune's starboard side, huge and bearing down fast. It flies, a black flag with a stark white skull over 2 crossed bones. Pirates. Christine skids to a stop so fast that you almost run into her. "Theus, no!" The prayer comes out in a gasp. "The first time on a ship and we get attacked by pirates? Yay." Captain Maurice Lafleur is at the helm, his fine blue coat askew and sandy hair slipping from its neat ponytail. Usually his eyes are touched by laugh lines at the corners, but he is utterly serious now as he raps out his sharp orders to the crew. That'll be nice. Some of those orders are carried by the shipmaster, Akuso. The captain sets the goal, but she is the one who sets the course to reach it. Sure-footed on the tilting deck, she strides through the chaos, box braids swinging over her shoulders, and bright green vest standing out against the muted grays and faded blues of the other sailors. Her voice rings out clearly with every order, but you can tell that she feels some fear right now. Boom! Cannon of fire explodes out from the pirate ship and crashes into the Dame Fortune's side. Wood shatters, sails rip with a sickening sound, and your ears ring from the noise. Ooh. I stand firm, bracing myself against falling debris. These are our choices. I move forward at once. My strength will be needed on deck. I hang back, surveying the scene to figure out how I can help the most. So the question is do I stand firm? Do I move forward? Or do I hang back? You know, I myself, I'm like, we're about to get into some combat. Yeah, our ship's about to get into something. I want to go forward. You know, I got a sword. Why not? Or maybe I don't have a sword and I'm just going to bash somebody in the face with my fist. You know? One of these things. So I got 2 votes, at least for 2. 1 kind of vote for 3 as well. Right now, we're leaning towards I move forward at once. Ah, there we go. So that is 4 votes in on number 2. 5 votes. It keeps going up. Hey, thank y'all so much for being here. Welcome to the chat. Ashley, thank you so much. So we're going to go with number 2. All around you, sailors are pushing their strength to their limits, hauling on ropes, pushing shot into cannon. You rush forward with Christine close behind, only faltering for a moment when another wave of debris rains down upon you. "You!" comes a shout, made hoarse by dust and strain. It's Josephine, hauling with all her might one of the ropes. "Give a hand here!" "I'll help, just tell me what to do," is one choice. I take the initiative and I grab the nearest rope and pull. "I don't know anything about the ropes, but I can help Justine stand firm." Or Josephine. Different person. Do I just want to take initiative? Or do I want to say, "I'll help. Just give me just tell me what to do." Yeah. Or are we still the noble and we're like, "I don't really know anything about the ropes. I'll help you." Help her? I think or at least 1 and 3 kind of help. Which one in specific? You know, one is telling her, "Hey, I'll help. Just tell me what to do." And another one is saying, is, rather than pulling on a rope, trying to just brace a rope. So I've got ones and one. One. All right, we got plenty of ones. We're just going to say, I'll help. Just tell me what to do. Josephine reaches over to grab the rope next to her and hands you the end. When I say so, pull as hard as you can. That's all that she has time to say before the ship pitches again and the sailors grab onto her ropes. Or the sailor grabs onto her rope, pulling with all her might. Each moment feels like an hour as you hold the rough line in your hand, hearing the sailors and shouts and cracks of wood breaking, and waiting, and waiting, and waiting. Now. The instant that Josephine shouts her order, you pull with all your might, straining side by side with her. Then with a heartening snap, the mainsail catches the wind, billowing out into the air. Hold, the sailor calls. You stop where you are, backing off just enough for the sailor to grab your rope from you and tie it alongside her own to the nearest cleats. Slowly, ponderously, the Dame Fortune begins to change course. So, thank you so much, Jessica, for coming in. We're going to return some fire. It's our only option. Fire! Shouts the captain. Cannon of fire bursts forth from the Dame Fortune's guns, rocking the deck so hard that you nearly topple. When the dust clears, you can see that the sleek black-bannered ship has barely been dented by the Dame Fortune's fire. You're close enough to see more of it now. The rows of cannons, the name painted in angry red, Draken's Wrath. The crew that fills the deck far larger than any crew on the ship where you stand. It's becoming apparent that your little merchant vessel is pitifully outgunned. Your only hope is to flee the pirates. Wood creaks and sails snap as the Dame Fortune continues to struggle away from the attack. The first mate, Raoul, is at the helm, straining to hold onto the wildly spinning wheel while the Captain Lafleur shouts desperate orders into the wind. The first mate normally acts as the captain when he isn't around, but in this case, they work in tandem to command the ship. Boom! Another cannon volley splits the air. Vicious pellets spray around the pirate ship's guns, shredding the Dame Fortune's sails and splintering the mast. Shrieks of pain break out through the chaos of sound. The pellets have bitten into people as well as the ship. One sailor plummets from the rigging into the roiling sea. Another falls back from her post at the cannon. And worst of all, Raoul takes a full hit. He staggers back across the deck, roaring in pain, and then the deck pitches again, and he slips overboard into the sea. He gone. Next. Really quick, just to toss out a little bit of world knowledge. Draken's Wrath. Draken is a metal that is essentially dragon bone, but they found a way to forge it into weapons. Specifically, Draken is going to be a word associated with Eisen, which is the German world in that, it's the German country in this world. So, through it all, Captain Lafleur stands his ground, shouting orders even as his ship crumbles around him. A thunderous crack echoes across the deck. Another cannon volley? No, worse. Look out below, Akusa calls. The main mast is coming down. So we have three choices. Yeah, Draken is, Drakenheisen is the metal. But Draken, it does mean dragon, but a lot of people will use the two interchangeably. Some of the time they will talk about it being like bars of it, but yeah. So we have three choices. I move quickly away from the falling mast to better take stock of my situation. I have to help Captain Lafleur's crew. I try to save the sailor despite any danger to myself. Where's Christine? I have to know she's safe before I do anything else. So, Do we want to, jump away? Do we want to go and help the sailors, despite the danger? Or do we want to look for our friend Christine? Stay dedicated to your captain. So I've got 2 votes for 2 so far. So I have 4 votes. Wow. Okay. Everybody's on the same page tonight, I think. So we're going to go with number 2 here. So I have to help Captain LaFleur's crew. I try to save the sailors despite any danger to myself. While people dive for safety, you spot someone who can't get away so easily. Josephine is up in the rigging now, tied to a tether for safety. She's sawing frantically away with a knife, trying to cut the tether free before the mast goes down. You dash over and untie the knots from the last few ropes, and give a sharp tug to free her just as she cuts through the last of the cords from above. She leaps aside just in time. Ropes tumble down around you, and all of a sudden going slack as the mast lets go and crashes to the deck. The mainsail drags into the water, tilting the ship even further over. Shrieks of pain and terror rise up all around you as sailors fling themselves away from the falling mast. Some to the deck, some overboard, and some are too late. Some of those shrieks cut off with sickening abruptness. The sail slips into the water, taking the rigging with it. Had you been a moment later, Josephine would have gone with them. The 2 of you stand wordlessly, gasping with effort as you try to absorb what just happened. Across the deck you catch sight of Christine, safe and sound. A matching look of relief floods her face when she sees you. You've both made it through. Christine is great and all, but this is our task. So, here we go. The Dame Fortune is dead in the water. Grappling hooks fly through the air from the black-sailed ship to bite into the splintered bulwark of the Dame Fortune, and soon the pirates follow. If you pass them in port, you might think they were just another merchant sailor crew, sun-weathered faces and salt-faded clothes, just as you've seen all around you since you left port. They don't wear jackets like the sailors in Thayan waters do. The pirates are used to warmer climates, and every single one is barefoot. And the crew of the Dame Fortune wouldn't carry daggers in their teeth. Only a few carry pistols, but that's more than enough. A pistol is always a danger, especially in close quarters. Cutlasses in hand, the pirates grapple with surprising accuracy over the side. Even if you could see Captain LaFleur, there is no time to wait for his order. The pirates are upon you. So, don't worry if y'all are having an issue with tech. Actually, we appreciate everyone who's inputting, and honestly, you're doing great. So, we have 3 choices. I pull my sword from its scabbard and rush forward to fight. I pull my sword from its scabbard and cut the grapple ropes. Maybe I can buy the merchant crew some time. I look for cover and hide. Maybe I can get the jump on the pirates. Ooh, number 2 is a vote so far. You know, so it's kind of, I'm seeing, welcome back, Deadlock. So I'm seeing right now, our choices are run into the combat. This, utterly, you're there to fight. Let's fight. Number 2 is kind of thinking it through. You're in the fight, but you're thinking it through, trying to do something. And number 3 is almost like, I'm a rogue. So far, everybody's 2. I kind of agree with that. So, all right, number 2 it is. Your blade whips through the air as you charge past the boarders. 1 or 2 raise their cutlasses to defend against you, but spring back in surprise when they see your victim is not the pirates, but the rope. With a hard, fast strike, you slice through the first rope and then another. You even send a half-boarded pirate hurling into the sea. But for every rope you cut, 2 more hooks onto the merchant ship in its place. A sudden clang stops your sword. You've been parried. A tall, thin woman with a bright red bandana stands before you, a long, curved cutlass in hand and a vicious grin on her face. You swing again, and in she comes again for another perfect parry. You're facing a very skilled opponent, and you're about to get a very tough fight. The red bandana pirate lunges, pressing toward you with a rush of strength and speed. The more you see of her, the more you can tell she's an expert. Maybe not as trained in formal aristocratic dueling as you, but with years of experience in shipboard battles. So are we going to parry and remain on defense, looking for a weakness in her style? Step into the attack, risking damage to myself to take advantage of her opening? Raise my hand. Formerly trained duelists should accept my surrender. Raise my hands in surrender and call out, I'm a noble and I invoke the right to parlay. Does anybody actually believe parlay works? I will say this, and as we're going through this with the choices, I'm enjoying this so far. I'm having a great time with this. I haven't had a single thing that I'm reading. I'm like, oh, what? What am I doing? Where am I? I'm really enjoying this. Oh, Deadlock, you want a parlay? I'm trying to see what do we got here. So Deadlock, Reworks, was that what was that one? Were you look or was that one for the previous engagement? Sorry, I kind of missed that one. One, okay. So if Reworks, if that is a 1, and Mooncrow, if that is a 1, so far we're 2. One person wants to parlay. 1. Okay. A lot of ones. Thank you. Oh. You know, I don't believe in my heart that parlay ever works. Oh, yeah, I can understand that, liking Pirates of the Caribbean and the parlay and that. And that's probably why they put it in here. This adventure is about 4 years old, so it's recent enough that they would have Pirates of the Caribbean to say, oh, yeah. But so far, we are going to go into the fight. Yeah, curse whatever sap thought up parlay. Alright, so I parry and remain on the defense. Here we go. When the pirate strikes, you're ready. Your sword crosses hers in a decisive parry, blocking the shot. The pirate springs nimbly back, blade sliding in again for another strike, which you parry once again. Not a single one of her blows hits home. You've got a parry for every one. Well, I've got a parry. You're managing to hold her off. You spot a glint of admiration in her eyes. That must not happen often, but it isn't enough to win. She's got strength and stamina both, and it's taking every bit of your skill to hold her back at bay. You can't even try to gain ground. Every parry takes you back a step until you're backed up against the railing. Boom. Another burst of cannon fire rips through the air, rocking the Dame Fortune with the force of its blow. Why would the pirates be firing again? But then you hear the shouts of pirates on the Draken's Wrath, and see their ship teetering and splintering. And that's when you see the second ship. Yes, I like that. I like that. A parry for you! A parry for you! Alright, so, on we go. Another swift ship. Another black flag bearing a skull. This is just not Captain LaFleur's day. This skull has an open top, though, and 3 daggers stabbing into the top. It's a flag that your attackers recognize. Bloody hell! The red bandanaed woman curses. It's the Black Swan! The Bloody Brotherhood! Your mother's naval career rarely took her into these waters, but the Brotherhood of the Coast has a reputation that stretches throughout Thea and beyond. The Pirate Alliance is fierce and tightly bound by their charter, a combination that means that most merchant ships simply surrender to them without a fight, knowing that any Brotherhood ship will abide by their vow not to harm a foe that does not fight back. Which doesn't include the Draken's Wrath, apparently. I thought we had outrun her, another pirate groans. The red bandanaed pirate spits. Well, she bloody well caught up. The Dame Fortune may be dead in the water, but the Black Swan isn't. It loses another broadside into your attackers, and you see grappling hooks start to fly through the air. Your enemy is being boarded. And so is the Dame Fortune. I'll support the crew of the Black Swan. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Or, I'll support the crew of the Black Swan. I want revenge on the people who attacked us. Or, I'm going to call out on my right of parlay as a noble. Or, I'm going to risk myself again. Oh, I'm not going to risk myself again. I'm hiding. Wow. Hey, but there are people who would play that way. So far, 1. Ooh, I got a 1 and a 2. I kind of like both of the options. But, wow. 1, 1, 1. 1. Deadlock, I'm very sorry tonight, man. You're getting outvoted so far. Both of them are really good options, though. So, yeah. Let's go support the Black Swan. Who knows? Maybe we can join. Christine won't want to come. She is a serious stick in the mud. With the arrival of new allies, or at least new enemies of your enemies, the crew of the Dame Fortune is rallying. Even Captain Lafleur himself, his fine Montaigne clothes bedraggled and dusty, has sprung forth and shouting orders to his crew with renewed energy. A wave of sailors flows forward to join the pirates of the Black Swan, willing to accept help from any quarter right now, especially one that has its own reasons to fight so fiercely against the Draken's Wrath. As far as our choices this time, I follow Captain Lafleur's lead. I challenge the strongest looking enemy pirate to single combat. Ooh, that's fun. I try to rally a group of the Dame Fortune's people to work together, or I lie in wait, ready to seize the exact moment to strike at a weak target. Where are we going? What do y'all think? Ooh, 1 or 3? 1 or 2. So it's kind of leaning more towards the 1. 3. So I got equal votes for 1 and 3. 3 again. Ooh. So we're going to try and rally. All right. I think 3 is going to be it. I try to rally a group of Dame Fortune's people to work together. Yeah. 3 is definitely going to be it. With me, you call. Dame Fortune with me. All is not lost. All across the shattered deck of the ship, you can see sailors begin to straighten up, gathering the last of their strength. They take heart from your rallying call and start to surge towards you. As the deck of the Dame Fortune rocks beneath you, you lead your little group over the gangplanks onto the Draken's Wrath. The Black Swan's crew is fresh, its sailors whole enough to guide it around, and most of all, its cannons are intact, strong, and just as numerous as those from the Draken's Wrath. While the guns thunder into the enemy ship, pirates from the Black Swan fight side by side with the merchant sailors from the Dame's Fortune. Swords flash and cutlasses fly. Sailors shout in half a dozen accents, and here and there the tiny burst of a pistol's fire can be heard above the din. Finally, a great shout goes up, ragged with fatigue, but echoing its triumph back and forth across the deck of the two ships. The Draken's Wrath is defeated. Oh yeah. So, onwards we go. While some of the Dame's Fortune's crew hurry back to gather what supplies they can salvage from their shattered ship, Captain Lafleur leads the rest across the Black Swan. He pauses only to take one last pained look back at the ship that was his to lead, then makes himself cross the rest of the way onto the pirate ship. You and Christine have no more choice than he does. The Black Swan is now your rescuer, and your only way back to shore. So our choices. I don't know if I'll be suited to a life on a pirate ship, but I'm curious about it. If the Black Swan gets into more battles like this, I'll have a good chance for adventure and heroics. Or, even if there are Brotherhood pirates, they're still pirates. It's not the kind of hero I want to be. Oh! Thank you! No, I got ahead of myself, didn't I? I was just so wanting to get into the adventure that I forgot to get my music going. Thank you. I'm not certain what's going to be playing, so give me a moment to get that pulled up. Everyone, go ahead and figure out what y'all want to do. Obviously, we are on the ocean, right? And then I need to turn on the right one over here. Alright, then we need something good, right? We just defeated some pirates. There we go. How's that? Too loud. Is that better? Maybe I'll just turn off the music for the moment and we'll stick with the sails. That's good? Alright. Yeah, we could have had some fun with that. Bring down the slider a little bit more? Okay. There we go. So looking back at chat, 2. Looks like we're going to go be pirates, eh? So if the Black Swan gets into more battles like this, I'll have a good chance for adventure and heroics. The pirates lead you before an intimidating woman with dark hair and skin and shining black eyes. She wears a hodgepodge of a uniform, dark canvas breeches, topped with a light linen blouse, heavy leather vest, and a plush coat of blue. The unmatched buttons shine with polish, and her hair is held in place by a black bandana. Her feet are bare, just like the rest of the pirates. Captain Lafleur stands his back straight and his head held high. I am Maurice Lafleur, merchant captain. Catches himself with a faint wince and corrects that to once captain of the Dame Fortune and Marquise de Cotain from Montaigne. He removes his battered hat and gives a deep, courtly bow, then straightens to look the pirate captain in the eye, equal to equal. I am grateful for your assistance, and yet I am at your mercy. The pirate captain gives Captain Lafleur a long, assessing look before she replies. My name is Captain Peyton Redwing, and this here is my ship, the Black Swan. You've had the poor luck to stumble upon the Draken's Wrath. She jerks her head across at the battered hulk of the first pirate ship, with a brief satisfied smirk at its destruction. Then she turns sober once more and looks over to include the rest of your crew in her next words, which means you've got nowhere else to go. By my code, I do not take prisoners. You're all free people, and I'll bring you to any port you like when I'm done with my business. That said, while you're on my ship, you'll earn your keep. If you don't want to work, you can spend your time in the brig. With respect, Captain, says Lafleur. My crew isn't going to help you take more ships. Redwing frowns at the contradiction, but shakes her head, not asking them to. For a brief moment, it looks like she might say more, but then she stops and instead says, "Just asking them to pull their weight here." She steps back from the floor and calls out, "Reuben!" "This is my ship's master," she explains. "He'll sort out what needs to be done." So music is good and sounds like it just sounds like almost the same volume as your voice. For now, I think I'm gonna leave it off because after a while, the music it can get a little bit tiring because it'll just loop, and after 10 minutes of a loop, you get tired of it. So let's go with the sound effects for now. So, answering the call is a tall man. His eyes liquid brown, and his face deep mahogany. His head shaved clean. He gives a surprisingly affable smile, and even more surprisingly is the Avalonian accent that colors his voice. "All right, lads and ladies. I'm sure you all know the ins and outs of a ship." He speaks as if he's sitting in a tavern with a group of old friends. Casual, comfortable, and making jokes. It sets some of the Dame Fortune's crew at ease. You see many of the merchant sailors unbending, even starting to return Reuben's smile. Others are warier, eyeing Reuben closely as if trying to seek out hidden meanings behind his friendly words. Akuso, skeptical too. She has high standards for anyone holding the same position that she had. All ordinary and able sailors report to the boatswain, Letta, to get orders. If you've got medical training, then you can talk with our surgeon Donald. Anyone injured from the battle, go to Donald as well. As for the officers, the merchant crew begins to split off into groups, growing even more at ease as they move back towards the familiar routine of shipboard work. "What do you think we should do?" Christine asks. "It looks like this is going to be different from the other ship." "So let's bargain to get an easy job. We're not sailors." "I'll accept the task that's given to me. I'm ready to be a good shipmate." "I plan a show of obstinance. I'm not making a fuss, but I'm not letting them. I'm letting them know I don't plan to join their crew willingly." Wow. Yeah, I agree. Red Wing does sound very reasonable. So far, we got 2 votes for 2. You know, I really do agree. Oh, not 3. Yeah, no, not 3. I mean, there's a part of me that I would not mind going back through this and playing the spoiled noble just for fun to see what happens. But by and large, it's just not something. 3 is a fun option. Oh no, I can't do 3. I can't do 3. So far, everybody's voting 2 anyway. See, I would agree. I think that to play the noble who doesn't want to work, who hid during the combat, could be interesting to see. Oh. So we'll go 2, yes. We line up with the rest of them, you reply. And we do the job that they give us. You step over to join the group from the Dame Fortune, making sure to position yourself near a group of Black Swan sailors so that they can hear you as well. "What do you think they'll give us?" you ask Christine in a voice pitched to Carrie. "I hope it's something interesting." Christine picks up on your cue. "I hope so too." "We're going to be spending some time here," you continue. "You should try to work well with everyone." Standing next to you is a tall, red-haired pirate in a fine azure blue suit. "Reuben," they call. "Aye, Lex," he calls back. "Got a couple of good ones here. Not afraid to work." Lex's assessment draws approving nods from the rest of the crew. Their good opinion carries some weight. For the rest of the afternoon, you and Christine are sent from the station to station around the ship to do various small tasks, and every new crew member greets you with the same air of approval. It seems that you've made a good first impression here. Cool. I have a sub given tonight. So, thank you. You know, so Bink gave us up to Ashley. Thank you so much. That said, before I start reading again, is there an accent or an attempt at and this is for Bink, since you paid for this, is there an accent or a way that you would like me to read one of the characters? And that can include myself. Yeah. And, yeah, we're just going to have some fun. I mean, it can be something, it can be, you know, if you, uh-oh. Yeah, did everybody see that? No, well, right now I don't have anything yet from Bink, so I'm just going to keep going. If he chimes in later, if he chimes in later with an accent or something else, and please, for the love of all that is holy, no Christopher Walken. My Christopher Walken is not good. It doesn't even sound remotely anything like him. It sounds like some kind of a good fella. Anyway, as the sun goes down on your first day aboard the Black Swan, there is finally a pause in the hard work. Some of the merchant sailors are taking to their new environment more easily than others. A group swaps stories and songs with the pirates at the starboard side of the ship. There are sad songs too, and drinks raised to the memory of those who were lost in the fight today, for both crews are bereaved. Lex is there, as is Reuben, both sharing the revelry of their crew. Not Captain Redwing, though. She went down below decks after dinner and has not been seen since. Oh, let Ashley pick? At the port side, Akuso is at the center of the group of Dame's Fortune sailors that holds themselves apart. The conversation is quiet and sober. You would not be surprised if they too are remembering that those that they have lost today. They're making a point of not sharing that with the others. Even farther apart is Captain LaFleur, off by himself. He gazes over the darkening sea with a melancholy look in his eyes. Like everyone else, he has held himself together through the long day's work, but now he is finally allowing himself to feel the burdens that have fallen upon him. Where will you spend your evening? So, hypermine? I don't know what hypermine is. I'm trying to figure that one. But so here's our choices. And just clarification, it will be in the quotes sections for my character, if that's where we go, that I will read it in a specific voice. I'm not going to do the whole thing, because then I'll have no voice left at the end of the night. So, our choices. With Christine and nobody else, I just want to talk to her about everything that's happened. With Akuso and the rest of the Dame Fortune's people, they're my crew, not the pirates. With Captain LaFleur, he looks like he could use a friend. With the Black Swan crew, I want to get to know them better. Or, I want to be alone and take in everything. Okay. Yeah, so Ashley, if you want to pick a voice, feel free. And then, of course, what's everybody think? Which one do y'all want me to do tonight? Or, you know, for this playthrough? Am I going to go with Christine, the Dame Fortune people, Captain LaFleur, the Black Swan, or be alone? I got one for Captain LaFleur. One. Ooh, Christine and nobody else. So we have one person who's a fan of Christine. Oh, two people want Christine. Three for Christine. Okay. Well, so far that is going to be the strong choice. Unless somebody else tosses something else out there. And we get some kind of rally for it. But let's go ahead and go with Christine. And this is also nighttime. I wonder if there's any difference of oceans at night. Yeah. Okay, Christine it is. You've worked side by side with Christine for most of the day. And before that, fought and fled side by side with her. But you've barely had a chance to actually talk until now. You find her near the bow of the ship, close enough to the Black Swan crew to hear their music, but far enough away that you can talk quietly together. And even then, when you collapse next to her, neither of you can really find the right words to begin. Finally, Christine breaks the silence. Well, that's not the kind of day we'd ever have at home. Her voice is as light and irreverent as it always is, but you can tell that that's just a covering for the depth of her emotions. So we can start off with, I'm glad you're safe. I'll be serious even if she can't. And that's exactly why I wanted to leave. I've always wanted an adventure. Or, do you think tomorrow we'll get attacked by a third pirate ship? I'll joke along with her. What do y'all think? Yeah. 3. I kind of agree with 3 because 2, that's exactly why I wanted to leave. It's one of those things where it's like you're talking about yourself, and that's not really a conversation. Maybe that's just me personally, but I'm just like that's kind of that I was the reason we left kind of attitude. And I'm just not as down for that one. But what do we got? What's everyone else thinking? So far, I guess we're going to go with 3 then. Yep, 3 it is. Oh yeah, everybody's in 3. Alright. Christine lets out a short laugh. Maybe there's one each day, she suggests. That would keep us on our toes. Well, if you're looking for adventure and heroics, that is where you'll find it. Sword fights, cannon fire, daring escapes, voyages to faraway places. How far away do you think we'll sail? You shake your head. I don't know. Somewhere warm, I hope. Kitai? Jaragua? As long as there's good food there, Christine laughs, I'll be happy. She gives you a playful nudge. And as long as you're there, as long as there's good food on the ship, I'm going to get some sleep. See you in the morning. So, Kitai is I believe, and I don't want to say for sure, but I believe that is this world's equivalent of China. It ran as a separate Kickstarter from the Seventh Seas books, and so I don't have any of them. I don't think they ever put out a single book for it in the original Seventh Seas or in Swashbuckling Adventures, which was their D20 version of this game. But so that's that one. And Jaragua, I believe, is the new continent. I believe that is a part of essentially Americas. So see you in the morning. Alone. See you in the morning. Alone. Oh, wow. Are we going to get some backstory now? 2 weeks earlier. Okay, something's going on. Alone on the deck of the Black Swan, you watch the stars pass by above you. Sorry. So we'll get some backstory after this. Alone on the decks of the Black Swan, you watch the stars pass by above you. The water below crests away from the sides of the fast-moving ship, and you can see the light of the lanterns on deck reflecting off the white peaks. You come very far from where you began. Now we're in the 2 weeks earlier. Ooh. So it is doing it chapter by chapter. I'm liking this. So we're an hour into the story so far. I'm thinking about taking a short break here in a moment. I might go ahead and do it right now before we start the next chapter. Just because that way I can get a little bit of drink. Everybody can get up, use the restroom, whatever. We're going to go for another hour. But yeah, let's go ahead and do it. We'll do our 10 minutes right here. It's a good point. So, see y'all in 10 minutes, all right? See y'all soon, guys. We'll be right back. Oh, well, there I am. So, hi, and welcome back, everyone. That was kind of quick. So, we'll go ahead and wait a second here, make sure everybody's in and back from chat and back in chat for us to start up this next chapter. So go ahead and chime on in, let me know y'all are here, and we'll get started. Don't really want to leave anyone alone back here. A lot going on, you know? So, got some choices. I think this is actually the section of the adventure where we get to make characters. So, Rudeworks is here. Thank you so much. Yes, yes, you are. Aren't we all? Aren't we all to some extent? So, all right. I guess we'll go ahead and... Ah, there we go. If anyone else said that, that would be super creepy. Thank you. Yeah, it probably would be, but, you know, we're all super creepy here. Come on. All right, so let's get this started back up. I have enough for a quorum, so we'll go with that. So, for those of you who are now tuning in, we'll go ahead and point out that we just got through a pirate ship battle. We were on one ship, and I can't remember the name of it, the Dame's Fortune. And then we were attacked by the Drakens something. Doesn't matter, because then another pirate ship showed up. So we got boarded by pirates. Then the pirates got boarded by pirates. And then we boarded the first pirates and joined the second pirates. That's the quickest way to describe that first chapter, right there. So that is where we left off, but now we get to do a flashback. So what we're reading now takes place 2 weeks prior to where we were. Yeah. Okay. So, Chapter 2, Leaving Home. It's a mild and sunny morning as you walk down the docks by yourself. Gulls cry out above you as they dip and dive between the ships in the harbor. A cool breeze carries strong scents of salt and fish with an undertone of oil and sweat. Tasty. The docks are packed with men and women working, loading ships, readying the sails that whip out into the morning wind, hawking wares to sailors newly arrived. You've heard stories of the sea, of course. Your mother is an admiral in the Navy, so how could you not? But this is your first time actually here, amid the sense of sounds and sights of the dock. Oh, no worries. Thank you. Welcome back. All right, so now we get to pick, where are we? So is it Carleon in the island of Avalon, which is, like I said, this is the equivalent or the stand-in for England or Britain. We are a hard and boisterous people living side by side with Fae. Our Queen Elaine rules by the power of the Graal, a Fae artifact, and her only military might is a privateer navy. So it's very true to Queen Elizabeth and history, if you know that portion of it. Or we could be San Cristobal in Castile. We are quick and intelligent, still recovering from the Montaigne's invasion in the War of the Cross. Our young King Sandoval is under the protection of the Vatican Church. They are the ones who truly rule, and with an iron fist. So this is Spain during the... Uh-oh, wait. Something's going on? Oh, you're saying, wait. Queen Elizabeth ruled by the power of a Fae artifact. Essentially, it's... Okay, I need to read parts of the new setup for this world. I'm very familiar with the old book, and I'm not as familiar with the individual histories and the nations in the new one. Let me read all the other answers for everybody, but I'm not as so. Yeah. In fact, Graal. Can we possibly say Holy Grail? Yeah, it's one of those things. Uh, but yeah, I mean, because the Holy Grail and Christianity in this world is not what we know of it, and that's a whole nother conversation. If I ever do Seventh Seas on our show, it's our podcast. I don't know if we ever did Seventh Seas. I don't think we did, but we had a podcast for a while that we talked about the history of RPGs. Anyway, yeah. So choice is England, then or Spain, and then the final one is Memel in the Samaritan Commonwealth. We are strong and personable, and everyone holds the equal rank of the Golden Liberty. I am one of the old nobility, though. I support the new democracy that has arisen in my nation. So the Samaritan, or Sarmatian, or however it's said, is essentially like Turkey, Istanbul, Constantinople, whatever you want to call it. That section of the world. So it's really cool. It did not exist in first edition. So for me, it's a brand new section of the world that they created with the updating of Seventh Seas to really work with it. So anyway. We didn't. I was making a joke about something you said and got serious. Never mind. Lol. My bad. Well, anyway. So everybody wants to do one. Everybody wants to be from England. Okay, I kind of agree. I'm not a big fan of. I am not a big fan of the whole Spanish Spain during the Conquistador era, which takes place in San Cristobal and Castile. The cool part of it is the existence of Los Vagabondos, or in the old game, Los Vagos, which was Zorro. It was Zorro. You got to play Zorro. And that was kind of cool. But at the same time, they've kind of taken that out. It's not in the second edition. Not technically. Not the way it was in first edition. So anyways, we'll go with England. So Avalon. Cool. What gender are you? Now, this is kind of a neat thing I love about Seven Seas is that it is very progressive, and they will address gender identity, sexual identity from a very open standpoint. These are things that in this world you can do. And to John Wick and a lot of the people doing that, awesome. Yes, well, sorry. So, what gender are you? I'm a woman. I'm a man. I'm neither a man or a woman. So, obviously, which do y'all want to choose? So far, we've seen a lot of female figures in this story as well, which I like. Yep. So do we want this character to be a woman or a man? We could go non-binary as well, or some other variation thereof and be neither a man or a woman. Any thoughts on that one? So 3, I've got 1 vote for neither man nor a woman. 3, cool. You like that? I'm okay with serving a female captain. But so far we've got a lot for 3. You're gonna get me in trouble, David. Be a plant, you know, or a meat popsicle. There's always that option. Yep. But so far, I think we are... What? I've got 3 votes for 3. Kinkaku Knight, I'm going to say that you're also going with your responses. I'm going to say also number 3. And, yeah. So we're going to go with I'm neither a man nor a woman. And what is your name? Brogan, Casey, Jamie. I don't like any of these names. Let me pick one for myself. Yeah, that's kind of cool. But what do y'all think? Casey is cool. I like that. That's a cool name. Jamie's not bad. Brogan, I'm kind of like, I'm not drawn to that one at all. But I will let y'all pick. I like these because at the same time I've known people. Gallimidas? Flanagan. 4. Wow, y'all want me to pick a name. You know it's going to be near impossible to... Wow, let's be original. It's going to be the hardest thing in the world for everyone to say a name that they're going to agree with. So, I will go ahead and we'll go with number 4. And let's see what let's see what the options that it gives is. Okay, so it gives you a place to type. All right, cool. All right, so how do I want to work this? You know, was it Ashley that got the free subscription today? Is she still here in the chat? Because I would let either her or Bink pick the name then. I know that if it was me... Gary. Not bad. If it was me, I'd probably go with Ashley. And I know you're like... Ashley's very much a feminine name. But I actually knew... in high school, I knew a guy whose name was Ashley. And I found out that it's a name that can be both. Gallimidas, the dinosaur who everything they touched turned to gold. Same with Leslie, yeah. Leslie Nielsen, great actor. Gallimidas, I have heard a yell from across the world telling me that it's Gallimidas. Soft G like Jerry. Yes, don't assign pronouns if you don't know them. Ashley Quinn. Quinn is great too. You know, I think of the song Mighty Quinn. And oh, there's actually a kind of a LGBTQ punk musician who goes by the name Quinn right now. Cannot remember the name of her band. But anyway. Poirot, Marple, you want me to be a detective? I kind of like Quinn. What do y'all think? Quinn? Quinn, yeah. Got 2 votes for Quinn. 3 if I get to count myself. Quinn works. Excellent. Okay, so 4 votes all together. We're going to go with it. Not seen nothing like the mighty Quinn. Ah, Quinn Williams. And Williams is a name that is well known among all Avalonians, for better or for worse, thanks to the reputation of your mother, Admiral Carolyn Williams. Unfortunately, Williams is not so distinctive that yours is the only family that bears it, which is good because you are here in the guise of a commoner. You wear simple but comfortable wool trousers, a clean wool tunic of blue, and soft-soled leather shoes. You have a belt and a small pouch attached to it, and soft leather vest over your shirt. The outfit itches and scratches, but you have no choice. Nobody must know who you really are. Nobody must know that the great admiral herself has sponsored this mission to Montaigne. Queen Elaine knows, of course, but your instructions are clear. Nobody must know that you are even a noble, let alone that your mother is an admiral. Avalon needs to expand its navy, and for Queen Elaine to reach out to Montaigne for those additional ships and sailors is a risky move. There are many among the nobility who would strongly oppose it. Better for you to keep your identity and your mission quiet until after you have been able to deliver your message. Secrets are a part of politics. As your parents have told you many times, this is the first time you've had one of your own, though, or at least one of this magnitude. Yeah. Well, I'm wondering if you think the previous game happened before or after I complete my mission. I'm kind of wondering that myself, or if my mission's completely fell apart. So, our choices. I don't like hiding anything, but it's my duty, then I'll do it. I am proud of my noble rank and my mother's military service. I do not want to hide that. It's exciting. I've always wondered what it would be like to run away and start a different life. It will be an interesting challenge. I'm already planning how I'll navigate conversations. This is 2 weeks before the events of Dame what's her name? Yeah. Word. Someone likes 4, and I've got a vote for 3 so far. I agree. I hate number 2. The whole, I'm proud of my noble rank and my mother's military service. Yeah, it's not your military service, though. It's your mom's. So that sounds like somebody who's got some serious issues. So I've got to vote for 2. Sorry, I've got to vote for 3, 4, 4, and 1. So I've got 2 for 4, 1 for 3, and 1 for 1. I think we're going to go with number 4 at this point, though. So it will be an interesting challenge. I'm already planning how I'll navigate conversations. With that in your mind, you move down the docks, taking in the sights around you. Everywhere you look, people bustle about, trying to get business done in the time they have. You notice a distinct lack of nobles wandering by the ships, as most of the people here are either sailors or merchants. Dock workers wear loose-fitting and comfortable clothes for the hard work of moving goods to and from ships. Near your end of the dock, weathered trawlers and drifters line up as they lower nets laden with wriggling fish into the docks. Further down the line, you see the sleeker and larger ships of merchant vessels. As you watch, you begin to be able to tell the sailors from the landfolk. Dock workers wear sturdy boots and walk solidly with purpose. Sailors walk barefoot and with a rolling gait. Passengers and merchants wear brighter colors than the sailors. At sea, colors quickly fade in the sun and wind, and it's easy to pick out their origins by the style of their clothing. You should close your mouth when you get aboard, otherwise something is likely to fly in it. You're startled by the sudden voice that comes from behind you. You start for a moment and turn quickly, only to recognize Fergus MacBride. McBride is a noble who has been close to your parents for years. You don't know him well, but you know that he supported your parents in court many times in the past, and he is highly placed enough to know of your true purpose here. He is a gruff man with strong opinions, and he isn't afraid to share them. He stands barely taller than you, his age showing in his bent frame, graying red hair, and emaciated features. Yet he still has a great deal of strength from his youth. You saw him win wrestling matches in the Highland Games only a few months ago. Cool. While he may be gruff, you have generally enjoyed his company. He gives you a smile. Now don't look so shocked. Can't someone come to give you a proper send-off? Your mother could not appear herself, of course, he adds, but that should not mean that you are left all alone. I greet him happily. I'm always glad to see a friendly face. I greet him, but I'm not happy to see him. I want to make my own way. I'm relieved to see him. I'm already starting to feel homesick. So some good choices there. I kind of go for 1. 2 makes sense, but it's very much, the Skywalker, Tashi Station kind of, I want to make my own way. Relieved to see him, already starting to feel homesick. Yeah, I agree so far. We got some votes for 1. And we are at some docks. Maybe I ought to pull some docks sounds up, you think? Kind of all sounds the same to some extent right now. I'm certain that there's probably something I'm missing. Oh, would help if I turned it on to daytime, right? So yeah. Huh. I know. I'm horrible when it comes to music on these things, because I'm always like, or sound effects. I'm just like, I want to hear some beat. I want to hear birds. I want to hear, some life, because you're on the shore. Anyway, that's just me. So far I've got a lot of 1s. I agree. Your mother made a few recommendations, McBride continues smoothly. Ships that will take you safely to where you're going, discreet merchant ships, that sort of thing. Here's one of them. You look between McBride and the grand ship he's pointing out as the Dame Fortune. The wood gleams with a fresh polish, and the giant 4-mast ship looms over you. Wow, 4 masts. It didn't seem like it was that big earlier. It felt like it was small, but anyway. Standing at the top of the gangplank is a man with sandy brown hair and the bright blue eyes touched by laugh lines. He is wearing a blue coat made of soft-looking material over a white ruffled shirt, and polished golden buttons adorn the cuffs and chest. He wears a large brimmed hat folded up on one side and stuck with a stylized rose pin. You recognize the style. It's some of the latest Montaigne fashion. Captain Maurice Lafleur, McBride says quietly to you as the captain approaches. He comes highly recommended. He's a respectable captain and a good merchant. And most important, he makes frequent voyages in and out of Charus and all of the other ports in Montaigne. I'm sure he'll let you sail with him. Captain Lafleur greets you both as you approach. Welcome! To what do I owe this pleasure, McBride? My young friend Quinn is looking to take a voyage, McBride says as he motions towards you. Do you think you can find space for him on your ship, or do you think you can find space on your ship for them? Yay. Right pronouns. The captain gives you an appraising look. And what do you say for yourself? I'll defer to McBride. As McBride says, I'm looking for passage. I want to see how the captain responds to questions. Where are you sailing to? Or, thanks for the introduction, McBride. I can take it from here. But, hey, so chat, which one do y'all think out of those 3 options? It's kind of a hard choice for me between 1 and 2. I mean, 3 makes sense, but the other, yeah. So I've got to vote for one. So, yeah, they do sound a little bit arrogant. I do agree. I want to see how the captain responds to questions. Where are you sailing to, though? I can kind of understand that one. But at the same time, what choice do you really have? So let's just go with it. We'll go with one for the moment. And if you are in chat and you are noticing that the amount of time between me responding to choices and you putting them in is getting longer and longer, just remember there is a delay for chat. Sometimes what I can say and what you actually hear, there can be like anywhere up to 15 to 20 seconds. So that's why a lot of times I'll just continue to talk or whatever. So let's go with number one. Ah, well, we aren't a passenger ship, so I need to charge a little extra, he says, not unkind. I have money to pay. I can pay. I have money. I can pay, you say, reaching for your coin pouch. Before you can produce it, McBride hands you a small sack of coins to Captain LaFleur. I'll take care of it, he says. Keep your coin for yourself. It does not matter who gives the coin, Captain LaFleur says with a smile, as long as the passage is paid. We sail for Charus soon. He pockets the money. Come, I'll show you to your quarters. Captain LaFleur leads you across the deck and down amidship to a room with a series of hammocks tied in neat rows. The crew sleeps here as well, but it's decently comfortable. We don't have regular passenger cabins, but you won't want for anything while aboard. You can take your pick of hammocks. He points to a foot locker at the end of a row of hammocks. You can store your gear here. Do not worry, no one will touch your belongings. My crew is honest, and I pay them well enough so that they have no need to steal. With that, he gives a small bow, almost courtly, turns to go. You brought only a few belongings, just enough to fill a single bag. A few changes of clothes, a journal, and a quill. You place the pack, still filled, into the large footlocker. You see that the crew has draped extra clothes across the hammocks, but a few remain empty. You place an extra shirt across one, claiming it as your own. Back up on deck, the crew of the Dame Fortune is making their final preparations for departure. They call across to each as they pull ropes, tie down barrels, or rush to and fro across the deck. A few shimmy up the rigging, nimble despite the swinging ropes, and swaying ship to the very highest topsails. Wind rushes in to snap the sails into place, and the ship begins to move slowly away from the docks and towards the open ocean. The gleaming white spires of Glenair Castle rise over the cliffs above the docks, and the white-roofed homes spread down and away from the castle. Within the hour, Carleon is no more than a jagged bump on the horizon. The castle, the only shape you can still reliably make out. How do you feel as your home disappears? Is it 1? I'm excited to start out on a journey of my own for once, even if this is simply to create a trade agreement. 2 is, I'm terrified of going out on my own for the first time, but I will make my own way by strength of my own will. Or, I'm determined to make my family proud. I must not let my feelings get in the way. So, and yeah, so I kind of want to play Obra Dinn after hearing about the hammocks. Obra Dinn is an incredible game. Yeah, I can definitely understand that. Oh, Mooncrow, you wanted to play it too? It's a solid game. It really is. But so far I've got a vote for 3. Vote for 3, okay. So 3 is starting to look like the strong one. And it makes sense because you're kind of playing up the family angle. Okay, hey, look, we're all on the same page. Alright, so number 3. By the time the afternoon sun is high in the sky, you can barely see the land at all. Around you is open bluish-green sea with a white crest where the ship cuts through waves. The speed of the ship kicks up a nice breeze, and you feel as though you're moving at a swift pace. Soon, even the land slips into a blur on the horizon, and you've left with nothing but sea around you. You busy yourself with watching the merchant sailors, as they always seem to have something to do. Even when it looks as though everything is smooth sailing, you eat lunch in the galley alone, as few people stop for a formal lunch hour. How do you spend your afternoon? I watch the sailors and hope picking up some tricks. I wander the ship. I want to make myself familiar with the crew and get to know the captain if I can. I alternate between watching the sailors and wandering the ship. I don't care about details, I just want to fill my time. 2. I like to as well. I always play charismatic characters in games. I like to interact with people and get to know them better. I mean, yeah, picking up tricks and getting to know things, that's great. And I kind of understand that. But, it's just the way I play. I like to interact with people more than, the environment. So, yeah, 2 and 2. There we go. All right. All around you, the crew of the Dame Fortune goes about their work. Akuso, the ship's master, strides about the deck giving orders. A nimble, shaven-headed man, whose name is Raoul, you hear others say, shimmies up the rigging. Sailors from every nation of Thea and far beyond do a dozen jobs that you can't begin to identify, that your mother would almost certainly know. Ah, Quinn! Comes a voice from behind you. It's Captain Lafleur, still cutting a fine figure in his captain's jacket. Even at several paces, you can see how its brightly blue nearly matches the color of his eyes, and that of the clear midday sky. How are you faring? Is there anything I can do for you? I have a few moments of free time. Yeah, you gotta meet Christine with an H somewhere. And I agree, I'm like, she's not here yet. I'm not gonna go there. I was about to be like, ooh, have we ended up in an M. Night Shyamalan movie? Is she, like, in my brain? But no, anyway. So, could you give me a tour of the ship? I'd like to get a view of the ship from his perspective. Thank you. Could you show me around? I'd enjoy some time in the captain's company. Oh, I don't want to bother you. I know you have important work to do. Oh, plot twist. Yes, I agree. 1. So, 1 vote for 1. 1, yeah. I agree. So we're going to go with number 1. Alright, I like 1. Let's go with it. His eyes light up instantly as if he were a proud father being asked about his child. He clearly loves this ship just as deeply. What would you like to see first? You can't help smiling back. Whatever you think is most important. I want to look at this ship in a way that a captain would see it. Captain Lafleur is only too happy to do that. As he leads you through Dame Fortune, you soon realize that it is much larger than you had realized. Much of the space is reserved for the hold, which is currently stocked full of cargo that Dame Fortune picked up in Avalon. The gun deck feels narrow, though it is the most open of all the deck levels. It allows for 4 cannons on each side of the ship with slots for gunners to shoot out of. A small pile of cannonballs stands neatly stacked near each cannon. Below that is the galley, the captain's quarters, and the crew's quarters. Ladders and stairs take up more space leading between each level of the ship. Captain Lafleur speaks with excited enthusiasm as he points out various aspects of the ship's carrying capacity, function, and capabilities. He turns serious, though, when the conversation shifts to the crew, not from unhappiness, but from the depth of sincerity in his respect for them. Raoul has been with my crew since I acquired the Dame Fortune. It's been first mate nearly all that time. He speaks with my voice when I am not present, and I trust him with my life. His voice is warm with friendship. I have no brothers by blood, but Raoul is the closest thing I have to a sibling. What about the ship's master? Akuso? Captain's smile takes on a knowing air. She seems intimidating, does she not? I understand. Akuso may seem gruff at first, but she is just focused on her job, and I respect that. She has proven herself many times over. Also, she has not had an easy life. She comes from the Adabine Sea. She is an escaped slave. We're lucky to have her on this ship. Later. After the evening meal, you find yourself back at your hammock. For the first time today, you are completely and utterly alone. You don't feel as though you did much, but you are exhausted anyway. It might be from trying to balance on the swaying ship all day or just the excitement of everything new. As you climb into the hammock, you hear a whisper, Quinn. You look around trying to figure out where it's coming from. Quinn! There it is again. Is there someone hiding? Is the ship haunted? There's something familiar about the whisper, but you can't place it. Down here, the voice says, a little louder. Look down! Just below the planks at your feet, you can see a faint glint of an eye looking back at you. Pull the planks up. If they know who I am, then I'll trust them. I pull the plank up. I'm cautious. I'll have a weapon at the ready when I lift the plank. I'm not doing anything until I have more information. Who's there? I think we can guess who's there. But you never know. I could be wrong. We could be wrong. You might be wrong. Which do y'all think? Should I pull up the plank, have a weapon ready and pull up the plank, or say who's there? 3. Who's there? Yeah, stowaways. I don't think I've heard a good story, realistic story, of what, has happened to stowaways. Is it Christine with H? That's what I'm thinking too. It's either that or they picked up, a bog hag and it's living in the bilge water beneath the deck. All right. So I got 3. Let's go with 3. Quinn, really? It's the note of exasperation in the whispered voice that does it. It's Christine Green, your best friend since childhood. It's me. Well, there's the information that you needed. It isn't anyone who means you harm, and it's definitely someone who needs your help. You reach down to pull up the plank nearest to where you saw the eye and heard the whisper. Finally! Christine sighs. I thought you'd never come back. Now help me get out of here, will you? I'm starving. Sarcasm? Having food as your top priority? Yes, this is definitely Christine. Not that you failed to recognize her, of course, but considering the strange circumstances, you at least considered the possibility that was just someone who happened to look strikingly similar to your fun-loving, impulsive best friend, who has somehow, for some reason, stowed away on the ship. Christine's parents are servants of your family's estate back in Avalon. 2 of you have been friends since you were children. What was it that made you friends? Okay, so we get a choice. So we can always laugh together. I like having a friend with a sense of humor like mine. Opposites attract. She's lighthearted and I'm serious. I wanted to rebel by associating with a servant, but we turned out to be generally good friends. I thought we were good friends when we were younger, but I've changed and we're drifting. Aww. Well, we're definitely not serious. We've played around with our answers as much as she has. So, I'm kind of leaning towards 1 or 3. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm just... She's going to get you in trouble. Yeah, no joke, she's going to get us in trouble. I mean, stowaway. You walk on the plank. They're going to keel haul you. So 3. So I got 2 votes for 3 and kind of a vote for 1. I think at this point we're going to go ahead and hop in with 3. And we might be stopping pretty soon. We are within 10 minutes of show end. We'll go ahead and do a little bit more here. Thank you, Deadlock. We'll go ahead and go 3 then. There was a time when your parents despaired of you ever taking your proper place among the nobility. You refused your lessons. You pushed back against every constraint of society. And rather than any of the children of your parents' fellow nobles, you chose as your best friend the daughter of a serving couple. Over time, though, you came to realize that you and Christine actually had a lot in common. Not least, she had a rebellious streak of her own. Sometimes you wonder if she saw through you all those years ago. If she realized that you saw her first as a symbol of rebellion and only later as a genuine friend. If she did, she's never given any sign of it, nor any sign that her friendship for you has been anything less than sincere. Okay, they're trying to make me like Christine a lot more than I did earlier. Alright, so we got one more choice, and then we're probably going to stop it pretty soon here. Talk about what else we got going on. So, Christine stretches and jogs in place, easing out the cramps that she's gotten from hiding. I haven't missed dinner, have I? She chatted as easily as always. Oh well, I'll find something. It's all part of the adventure, right? She turns serious and a bit of genuine hurt shows through as she adds, and why didn't you tell me you were going? I couldn't. Nobody was supposed to know. Christine snorts, except for your mother, and that means my mother too, and Fergus McBride. So right, nobody at all. Nobody important at least. Her tone is sarcastic, but the hurt shows through plainly. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't think you would care. Sorry for leaving without saying anything, that's number 1. I needed to go out on my own for once in my life. I'm sure you can understand that. Number 2. We aren't children anymore. We need to live our own lives at some point. Ew. Yeah, I think that I agree with you, Mooncrow. Number 1 is the best out of all those. Like, I kind of like Christine. I don't want to be a jerk. Yeah. Let's go with number 1. She gives you a good long stare before breaking into a smile. Well, I'll believe that you didn't think. Either way, I'm here now. Really floods through you. You're forgiven and you've got your best friend at your side. Wait, you say, as a realization hits you. How did you know which ship to get on? I told you I know that Fergus McBride knows, so I followed him. You're lucky I did. Noise from the end of the hall breaks you both out of your conversation. Christine jumps, and you both look at the stairs leading down into the crew quarters. Someone is coming down the stairs, and you only have a moment to decide what to do. On some ships, stowaways are punished harshly. You don't think that Dame Fortune is one of them. Captain LaFleur seems hardly like the type of captain to do anything harshly. But you still don't want to put yourself or Christine at risk. I think I have a good report with the captain. I'm going to tell him what happened. Hide. We'll probably take some quick thinking, but I can probably make up a story to tell the captain. Quick, hide! Maybe you can just stay hidden for the whole time so we don't get the captain angry. I'm going to try and pass you off as you always having been here, I say. Won't be easy, but I'll give it a try. So we'll make this our last choice of the evening. Flip the page and end there. So here's our last choice. What do we want to do? Go tell the captain, go make up a story, have Christine hide, or pretend she's always been there. 1 and 1. So far, I've got both votes for 1. I definitely agree with that. The rest would ruin your reputation. Yeah. You know, it's one of those things where if you were playing the roguish character, you know, 3 and 4 would work. But yeah. So let's go with 1. We're going to click it. We're going to say next. And this is where we're going to go ahead and pause and end. So we're going to stop here. I'm just going to see. Do we have a way to save or anything? Alright, so, alright, we're stopping here for now. Yeah, I think this is a good place to stop. Check my stats. Show stats. Alright. So yeah, it's creating a character as we're going through based on our actions and what we've done. So far we're the hero, Quinn, Avalonian. Our qualities are brawn, fitness, panache, wits. Wow, we're really high. Nice. Oh, you think that it saves automatically? That's cool. So, Captain Redwing is at 50. Captain LaFleur is at 59. Lex is at 50. We have 100 guilders. So it's even tracking our money. This is amazing. Okay, leave it up or else it'll mess up the overlay. Okay, sorry. So I am thoroughly impressed with what I've seen so far. I think this might be the best laid out, written of these one-player adventures I have seen yet. I've really enjoyed the Call of Cthulhu ones, and Alone Against the Flames, I really enjoyed it. I felt like it flowed well. I felt like it had a lot going for it. But this game so far has really impressed me. The fact that I feel like I am in a game doing something. I haven't felt confused. I haven't felt like I'm not understanding what the writer is saying, which has happened in a few of the adventures we've done. So far, I really love it. So we'll continue this next week and come back to that. Other things going on this week. So really quickly, Thursday is going to be our next episode of the Shell game, which is our Spycraft actual play. It's a kind of a spy espionage game set in the 1960s. Yeah, it's going to play better. I agree. But at the same time, it's I feel like this all falls in the same area. But so Thursday we have our Spycraft game. I really hope that y'all come back and watch that one. We are 2 episodes out from ending that series for right now for that adventure. It is again set in 1962. By now, if you've been watching, you know it takes place during the Cuban Missile Crisis and follows what almost could have been World War III. Yes. We have Roxy is in 2 shows right now that she is a part of. She is doing a Savage Worlds Ravenloft campaign. Ravenloft, as most people know, is kind of like the Hollywood movie monster kind of D&D world. Vampires, werewolves, set in Barovia, which is very much the Transylvania kind of thing. Great. People really enjoy it, but so they're doing it as a Savage Worlds game. Roxy is in that one, and that one I believe is on CFT RPG for Twitch. And then Roxy has also now joined a Deadlands Hell on Earth game, which is a Deadlands game set in a post-apocalyptic world for Deadlands. So kind of sci-fi steampunk apocalypse, Mad Max kind of setting, and that is on the League of Explorers Friday at 9 p.m. So she's in quite a few games right now. Yeah, Savage Ravenloft is next Wednesday at 7 p.m. And then next week we will also have our next episode of Illuminated Page, where our team is in Australia. And then in 1 or 2 weeks, 2 weeks, we finish the Shell game. So that'll be the final episode of that series. The 2 weeks after that, big announcement, I'll go ahead and toss it out there. That is when we are intending to bring back Growing Shadows, our Ninja Crusade actual play. So keep your eyes open for that. We are going to be bringing it back. We are going to be having our players. We're not going to be doing it at the table. We're still in the midst of, being smart and sheltering in place for many of us, those of us who can. And so, we're going to continue with that. Best Quiett noise ever, lol. I don't know. But, So, be sure to keep an eye on everything that's going on here. We will make announcements for all the different shows that are happening. And we really look forward to seeing everyone back. So please come back Thursday, and we'll see you again for Spycraft. I think that's going to be it for tonight. And I guess I just go back to this. And night, everyone. We will see you in a couple days.